journalist from the Midas Touch Network, the former MAGA Republican Senate candidate from Georgia, Herschel Walker, may get criminally indicted for committing a number of campaign finance violations. And the story behind it involves a defunct car wash, Jeffrey Epstein's plane, and more. You're going to have to buckle up for this story right here. So
that's why the party is growing so rapidly, and it's becoming a different party, and it's becoming a party of love. You have to see outside the streets. I mean, there's such love. The flags. Amazing.
Donald Trump.
Right.
But he is denying that.
That is his, with all the 15 women or 16 who've come forward, it's the same. He denies it, he turns it around, he attacks, and he threatens. That is and then everybody forgets it, and then the next woman comes along, and I am sick of it. Allison, I am sick of it. Think how many women have come forward. Nothing happens. The only thing we can do is sit with you and tell our stories so that we empower other women to come forward and tell their stories, because we have to change this culture of sexual violence.
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
He denies that it happened. He just
The first of 8 accusers publicly came forward Wednesday night of this week. Mindy McGilvery was one of them. For her, it was the presidential debate in St. Louis that prompted her to speak out. McGilvery couldn't believe what she had just heard.
We hear Anderson Cooper ask him like a number of times, you know, is this something that you did? Did you grope women? Did you kiss them? And he just adamantly says no. I jumped off of my couch and I was like, you're a liar.
I was very young.
In the early 1990s, Kristen Anderson was an aspiring model in New York. According to the Washington Post, Anderson had never met or seen Donald Trump in person until he sat down next to her one night in a Manhattan dance club.
The person on my right, who unbeknownst to me at that time was Donald Trump, put their hands up my skirt.
Temple Taggart is a former Miss Utah. She says without her consent, Trump kissed her on the lips immediately after meeting her in 1997. Rachel Crooks told the New York Times that Trump kissed her inappropriately as well in 2005. Natasha Stoynoff, a writer for People magazine, says Trump forcibly kissed her and pinned her down while on a reporting assignment at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. And Jessica Leeds says Trump grabbed her breasts and put his hands up her skirt on a plane in the early 1980s. Donald Trump again Friday denied all of the allegations against him and described it all as a political smear campaign.
I don't know who these people are. I look on television. I think it's a disgusting thing.
Which is exactly how Mindy McGilvery says Trump treated her one night backstage after a Ray Charles concert at the Mar-a-Lago estate. McGilvery was there with a friend waiting to get her picture taken with the singer when she says Trump grabbed her from behind.
And he didn't give me a second glance. He knew what he did. I know he knew what he did. I can tell by looking at his smug face, he knew exactly what he did. I told Ken, I was like, Donald just grabbed my ass. And he was like, what do you want to do about it? I was like, I was silent, you know, I don't want to do anything.
She says she regrets not confronting the billionaire right on the spot. And despite Trump's insistence that he treats women with respect, all of the women who've come forward say Trump treated them like objects that he could have his way with.
What would you tell Donald Trump today?
You're sick person. And if you don't acknowledge it, then maybe he's just a helpless old man who needs to step down.
Summer Zervos once appeared as a contestant on Trump's reality show, The Apprentice. After she was kicked off the show, Zervos was in talks with Trump about working for his company. He asked to meet her at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
He came to me and started kissing me open-mouthed as he was pulling me towards him. I tried to push him away. I pushed his chest to put space between us, and I said, "Come on, man, get real." He repeated my words back to me, "Get real," as he began thrusting his genitals.
One of the largest recipients of money from the main committee behind Herschel Walker's campaign is a company called Jets, spelled Jetts. And it is listed as the recipient of approximately $600,000 for private jet travel, which, by the way, in and of itself is a lot of money for a senatorial campaign to incur. $600,000 in private jet transportation. But as you look deeper into the FEC filings by the Herschel Walker campaign, and you click the Jets, JETTS, and you find what is JETTS, it's actually a defunct car wash. It is not a company that provides the services of private jet transportation, and it's been out of business for quite some time. It's called Jets, JETTS Car Wash LLC, not a private jet company. And this company, Jets Car Wash, is actually owned and controlled by someone named Thomas Huff. And Thomas Huff is one of the main donors of the Herschel Walker campaign. And Huff, along with his various family members, gave tens of thousands of dollars. They all maxed out. So they're big Herschel Walker donors. But then it also turns out, you may be saying, look, this is just an open shut case. Were you funneling this money to a car wash? What is taking place here? Who's this money going to? Were you just paying $600,000 to this Thomas Huff, who operates all of these businesses linked to his residential address in the Atlanta suburbs? But then you dig deeper, and one of the other companies Thomas Huff operates is a company that's called Aviation Development Group. And that company actually operates a Gulfstream 4, a G4, which is a private jet. So why didn't Herschel Walker list the actual company if that's indeed who was providing the private jet services? I mean, $600,000 is a lot of money, but why was Herschel Walker concealing the amount of, not just the amount of money, but who the money was going to? He could have just said Aviation Development Group. Well, it turns out when you follow the chain of ownership of who actually owned the private jet, it used to be registered under a name JEGE LLC. Jeffrey Epstein. So Jeffrey Epstein was the owner of this private jet, and here you have Thomas Huff acquired the jet, the Jeffrey Epstein jet, in a fire sale for very, very cheap, because who wants to buy Jeffrey Epstein's private jet that Epstein used for sex trafficking? That's absolutely horrific. Well, Thomas Huff and the MAGA Republicans and Herschel Walker. And so what appears took place here is that Huff operated a defunct car wash that used the name Jets because it sounds like private jets, and nobody would look into it, so that the money would go to the car wash. But in reality, it would go to, it would be paid for the services of another company, which is actually lending out Jeffrey Epstein's jet to people that was acquired in a fire sale by Thomas Huff. Regardless, this is a crime. This is a crime. If indeed it is demonstrated that Herschel Walker concealed who the money was going to and lied on his campaign finance forms, his FEC forms, because he didn't want to disclose that he was flying around in Jeffrey Epstein's private jet, that is a crime. So one of the sections that it violates is 18 USC section 1001. And 18 U.S.C. Section 1001 is making false statements. It's the common name for the United States federal process crime laid out in Section 1001 of Title 18 of the United States Code, which generally prohibits knowingly and willfully making false or fraudulent statements or concealing information in any matter within the jurisdiction of the federal government of the United States, even by merely denying guilt when asked by a federal agent, could be a violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 1001, but FEC disclosures are governed by 18 U.S.C. 1001. By the way, this is likely the statute that George Santos is also being criminally investigated under for his apparently false FEC forms. And numerous other MAGA Republicans have been investigated for crimes under 18 U.S.C. Section 1001. But look, it is a crime. The FEC has sent a letter pointing out these potential violations. Initial reporting on the FEC letter was done by the Daily Beast. Actually, Fox Digital did a report on this as well, which is surprising that Fox is leaning into this story as well. But you could all look, just go search for the FEC forms that were filed. You look at the $600,000 for private jet transportation, click on it. Then you'll see the company that was the recipient. Go follow the address. You'll see that the company is called Jets, Jetts. You'll then trace that. You'll see it's a car wash. And then when you see the owner is the guy named Thomas Huff, you'll see that Thomas Huff also owns an aviation company. And then when you trace back the ownership and title of the private jet, it's Jeffrey Epstein's jet. Shocking. Actually, not shocking. I mean, we're talking about the MAGA Republicans. There's probably a lot more things shocking about the Herschel Walker campaign, but what a twisted story, huh?
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
This is a special video from Micha Kat for Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America. Mr. Trump, I'm in Ireland now. Last week I visited your beautiful Irish hotel and international golf links in Doonbeg. I bought this beautiful cap there. I'm very proud to wear it because I'm a big fan of yours. I even applied for a job there, so maybe I'll be one of your employees in the near future. But what I want to talk to you now is about the upcoming visit of the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte to your offices this Monday. A few people sent you through the website of the White House a video called Dutch Injustice When Child Traffickers Run a Nation. And in this video it is explained how the Netherlands for decades now is run, is ruled, is governed by the most vicious, the most extreme, the most sadistic kind of pedophiles imaginable. You know, Mr. Trump, about the situation in England with the Jimmy Savile situation. Of course, in your own United States of America are horrible things happening when it comes to child trafficking and child abuse. But in the Netherlands is the worst country in the world when it comes to these horrible things. You should know this when you shake hands with Mark Rutte, because Mark Rutte is in the middle of this horrible crime, child abuse, mafia scene. His political party, the VVD, is in the Netherlands also called the Child Rape Party, because this party is full of sadistic pedophiles, even to the point that the highest official in
the Ministry of Justice from this party was so deep into the child abuse and child molesting business that even the corrupt Dutch judiciary judges said that he should be prosecuted for this. Of course, it never came to a real fair trial, but only the fact that this happened was a total shock. This has never happened in any other country in the world before Mr. Trump. That the highest official, like for instance, you're Mr. Rod Rosenstein. Can you imagine that a grand jury comes to the conclusion that Mr. Rod Rosenstein should be prosecuted for raping little kids? Maybe you can, maybe you cannot, but in the Netherlands this really happens. And this just shows how deep this pedophile horror culture has permeated all aspects of our political life. This man, Mark Rutte, that you will meet tomorrow or on Monday, is one big fraud. Everything he says is a lie, which is totally in line with the way these pedophiles behave politically. Look at the woman who you called Crooked Hillary. Exactly the same type of person is Mark. Crooked Mark. Liar Mark. Everything he says is a lie. At one point he promised the people of the Netherlands €1,000 each when they voted for him. These are the same kind of practices that you saw in Russia many decades ago when they said everyone who votes for me gets a bottle of vodka. This is the level that this guy that you will meet Monday thinks that he can act as a politician with this kind of fraud. But this is only just a very small thing, as I told you. He is full of criminality. Everything he does is a crime. He came to power to lies, deceit. It's just beyond any imagination. I hope that you saw this video. Dutch injustice when child traffickers run a nation. 5 years ago it went even so far that the Netherlands was at the point of losing its so-called Tier 1 status as a country that is on the forefront of the fight against child trafficking, because they had too many scandals. As I told you, the whole government are child abusers or are working for the child abusers or are facilitators for child abusers. So what happened was that the Netherlands was on the point of losing this Tier 1 status. The Dutch pedophile crooked government panicked and they sent a high-profile delegation of 13 people to Washington. Among those were high people from the judiciary, from the police, majors of big cities, to lobby the State Department and congressmen and representatives on behalf of the Dutch pedophiles that they could keep their smokescreen Tier 1 status, behind which these horrible abuse could take place, because then they could say, look, we have the Tier 1 status, we are among the frontline states in fighting child abuse, and in the meantime, of course, be protected by this smokescreen. They could do all these horrible things. So the Dutch pedophile government sent this high-profile litigation, and they succeeded in organizing, in targeting these influential people, so that our country kept this Tier 1 status, which is of course a big shame. Well, I don't want to make this video too long. I hope you will see this video. I'm a big fan of yours. This is why I wear this hat with pride. I hope that your fight against the evil powers, against the child molesters, will be successful. There are so many ties between the Clinton Foundation and the Netherlands. I can make a whole video about this. I think that the Netherlands is one of the main contributing countries to the whole Clinton Horror Foundation. Well, maybe you know about this. I don't know how sophisticated your intelligence is when it comes to the Netherlands. I hope it's very sophisticated. If not, I'll be glad to help you to provide information. Maybe that is another job apart from the one in your Doenbeck hotel I can get from you. I don't know. Anyway, up to this point, I hope that you will confront Mr. Rutte in your own specific way with this horrible situation. And in fact, this is a man that you cannot do business with. He's a criminal, not a politician. maar weer weg.
Oké, Mr. Trump.
Mag niemand weten. Zo fake zijn. Dat ze zelfs hun eigen fake zijn, gaan ze faken. Moet je even voorstellen. Overwinningen, overwinningen, overwinningen. Recent, Waabeke. Wie was de eerste die Waabeke exposed als pedo in 2008, 2009? Micha Kat. En kijk nu eens 10 jaar later dat het gewoon mainstream wordt. Dat het een volslagen crimineel is die vanuit zijn positie als rechter moorden faciliteert op jonge vrouwen, het aan stukken snijden. Alles wat Micha gezegd heeft komt uit. Dit zijn de feiten, mensen. En zo kunnen we nog wel uren doorgaan. Alles wat Micha zegt is winning, 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 winning. Ik ben nog goed, Steve Brown, die zei het ook al een paar jaar geleden. Van alles wat Micha zegt komt uit. Die noemde mij Nostradamus Kat. Nou, toen gebeurde er helaas iets heel naars, waardoor Steve Brown en ik niet meer door één deur konden. Allemaal gezeind mensen. Maar daar gaat het niet om. Het gaat om winning, 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 winning. Till you get tired of winning. Nou goed. Omdat ik zo winning ben, een beroep op jullie mensen, geef een bijdrage dat ik ook een beetje leuke kerst kan vieren, dat ik me ook ergens heen kan gaan of weet ik veel wat. Want dit is gewoon mijn staat een beetje, nou dat is ook verder niet zo'n groot probleem, de wereld zal er niet door vergaan. De wereld zal er wel nog gered worden, want zolang ik blijf ademen is die kracht voor het goede die blaast alle negatieve pedo-ellende, alle satanische crooks weg. Weg, winning, winning, winning. Nou goed, het rekeningnummer kunnen jullie opvragen via het bekende e-mailadres mensen. Winning, winning, winning. Ook al heb ik geen kalkoen voor kerst, dan nog ben ik winning.